Hi everyone, we are live here on LinkedIn as well, and this particular webinar is focusing on how you can use some tools or some methods to identify manufacturing companies and reach out to them for your business. And in parallel to LinkedIn live session, we are also live on Hangouts, wherein a lot of people have joined today for understanding in depth about how we can target manufacturing companies for their business and how we can reach you more of these similar SMEs and SMBs for improving your sales funnel. Before we begin, if you have anything specific to share from the Hangouts, जो भी लोग Hangout पे हैं, if you want to share anything specific about your business, so that I can personalize the webinar specific to your case. तो अगर किसी को volunteer करना है and they want to jump in, they want to share what sort of business they are and what's the business that they target. So let me know, and I will personalize the webinar according to your case, so that you have more understanding and more relevance out of this webinar. So anybody who wants to jump in and volunteer is most welcome.
So Nitin, my name is Naveen.
I'm sorry, can you speak a bit louder, please?
Sure. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, a bit better.
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Naveen. I work as a manager with one of the companies called as Untitled Chapter. So we are actually a strategic management consulting company. And so it's an end-to-end HR consulting that includes OD interventions, organization design, diagnostics, compensation, benchmarking, a lot of things, training and development and all that. So our focus areas, focus market, I would say, is now each manufacturing is one part of it. Because we're into a lot of it. So it's we focus on a lot on IT, BFSI, and.
Can you talk about manufacturing today, because since we are targeting manufacturing businesses today?
Yeah, so manufacturing is a part of it.
Yeah, so let's just focus on manufacturing companies for now. What sort of manufacturing companies do you target usually?
So what can I say? I mean, it's not specific to what kind. So it depends on the size of the company and the revenue.
Okay. What size of companies do you target?
1,000 plus.
1,000 plus employee size? It could be in any sector with just a parameter of 1,000 plus employee size.
1,000 plus employee size.
Cool, great, thank you. And I'm assuming you reach out to their IT heads or decision makers, since you're targeting who are the
HR
people?
heads.
The HR heads. All right. Okay then. Thank you. Anybody else who would like to share what sort of businesses that they target when it comes to manufacturing? This is the chance. I mean, if you really wanted to understand and specifically learn about your business, how we can improve it, then feel free to jump in. Otherwise, I'll just proceed ahead with whatever I have prepared for you guys. Okay, great. Well, thank you. Yeah, anyone coming in?
Yeah, hi Nitin.
Hi, who's this?
Yeah, Sujit this side from Think 7.
Hi Sujit, please let me know.
Yeah, we are into IoT business.
Okay.
So we are into the business of smart and connected factories. So our main target is SMEs, MSMEs.
Okay.
Apart from this, we are also working with tier 1 OEM customers.
Okay.
So the main agenda of joining this call is to understand how we can generate leads from this discrete manufacturers.
Okay.
From MSMEs and SMEs basically.
Okay. Anything specific?
Yeah.
Any specific sector when it comes to manufacturing?
Yeah. Our solution is good fit for automotive segment, automotive and aerospace.
Let me just write it down.
Yeah.
Automotive and aerospace.
Yeah.
And who are the decision makers that you target in these companies?
So if you talk about the MSMEs, then mostly the owners.
Yeah.
Or the if you go higher than that, then CEOs, CIOs, CTOs, like that.
Okay.
And many of the cases like production heads, quality heads, we start interacting with them. But decision makers are all like higher authority, as you know.
Sure. All right. Thank you. Anyone else?
Can you hear me? I'm Enrich Kumar.
Hi, Enrich Kumar. Yes, we can hear you. Bataiye. I can't hear you, Enrich Kumar. Can you say that again, please?
Can you hear now?
Yeah. Yes. Please. What kind of companies do you target? What's your business, or what do you do?
We are making biotech events which are using by sugar industry, cement, LNT.
Very noisy from your end, Enrich Kumar. I'm sorry, but I can't hear you. Maybe you can fix up your mic and then come back again. In the meantime, I'll proceed ahead with the webinar. Okay, guys, thank you so much for sharing. We have two cases wherein one of the business target manufacturing companies that have more than 1,000 employees. The other business, they target SMEs, MSMEs in the automotive and aerospace sector. And the decision maker that they usually target are the owners and CEOs. And when they go higher up, they target CTOs, CIOs, and quality heads in those companies. So हम दोनों cases को cover करेंगे, how you can reach out to these companies, how you can filter out these companies, and how you can target these companies and identify the right decision makers. So let's start with the second case, or I'll go with the first case first, wherein we are targeting the manufacturing companies that has more than 1,000 employees. And in these companies, we are targeting the HR heads of the business. So in order to do that, when we go higher up the hierarchy, so there are two methods normally. One is the LinkedIn approach, and the other one is the Zobacop approach. But when we have the employee size that go from, let's say, 200 plus employees, usually the decision makers that you target are the departmental or functional heads, because CEOs and CXOs won't be that much interested to hear from you right at the beginning of the pitch, because they have so much of things to do. So when you go higher up the decision maker hierarchy, usually, for example, if you're targeting companies that are, let's say, 10 crores of plus revenue, or that has 200 plus employee size, it is highly recommended and advisable that you reach out to the functional heads. Like in this case, the business is targeting the HR heads of the companies, which is the right way to do. So हम उसी case को अभी पकड़ेंगे, and then we'll try and see how we can identify such businesses, identify such decision makers, and build a target list, and identify the contact data of such companies. I'm assuming you guys can all see my screen. So first step is to go to LinkedIn. हम LinkedIn पे जाएंगे, and then we will filter out the companies. If you have a Sales Navigator account, that is amazing. If you don't Sales Navigator account, then you can play around some categorization of the companies. I'll show you how, and still can find out the decision makers as per your criteria. So अभी हमारे case में we have HR heads that we want to target. Abhi I'm targeting the second case, picking up the second case. So I go to LinkedIn, I type HR heads, I go to people. Since we are targeting the people, which is the HR heads in these companies, now I go to all filters. Abhi I have placed India in the location, and now what I'm going to do is I am going to specify the industries. In this case, let me put in consumer goods. Since consumer good is one of the industry that typically is a manufacturing company. Again, I'm going to put automotive. I'm going to select all the companies that usually are into manufacturing sector. Consumer electronics. Let's just pick these four industries for now. One is consumer electronics. Second is automotive. Third is electrical and electronic manufacturing. And fourth one is consumer goods. I can add a few more industries, no problem at all. But just for the example case, I'm picking these four industries. Okay. Now I click on show results. Now these are the people who who are working in companies as per our criteria. Now, if you look at the companies, let's take an example of a particular person, Aslam Hassan, who is the country HR head at Cooper Standard. Now, this is a manufacturing company. Again, if you look at this person, head HR of Footwears Limited. Same, another manufacturing companies in a big brand in footwear industry. And if you look at this particular person, head HR of International Tractors Limited, another example of a manufacturing company. Then head HR of Honda Cars, Great Wall Motor, JBM Group. So all of these are manufacturing companies. Now LinkedIn algorithms is usually also optimized in such a way that they will give you the results of first few results of higher up companies. So the criteria of 1,000 plus employees is already getting met in this search result. Since we do not have the filters to apply for employee size, in this particular case, because of a free account, we can switch to a Navigator account also. If we want, I can do and show you that as well. But if we don't have a Navigator account, which costs at around 5,000 rupees a month, then this is one of the method to optimize your search results if you already are targeting companies that are more than 500 or 1,000 employee size. So which will give you most accurate, close to 90-95% accurate results, which is aligned with your targeting of employee size. Now the next step is how you can find out and scrape or perhaps get this search result into an Excel file. For that, there is a free of cost extension called as Academy Scraper. I have just opened up this Academy Scraper. It's a Chrome extension. I'll obviously share the link with you guys. Now, if you notice, these are the 10 results that are visible on the screen. So what I'm going to do is I click save. These 10 results get copied into the Excel file. I go to the second page. Again, I clicked on this particular tool, click save. Total results now are 20. So in this way, you can actually just go to all the search results and pages and save it and then download the Excel file. Now, if I open up the Excel file, you can see all the data already curated in an Excel sheet. Name, title, company name, location, the LinkedIn profile link, URL of the person. You can always work on it, optimize the search results. If you figure out that this is not the right company, or perhaps they're already your customer and you want to skip them, you can just simply delete the row as criteria. So this is one of the results to first of all identify and build a list of the right people as per your criteria. इससे ऊपर आपको detailing में जाना है. The other way to do that is use a LinkedIn Sales Navigator account, using which you can filter out and specify even more filters. I'll just show you quickly how you can do it. Let me sign out of my personal normal account and log in with the Sales Navigator account. Those who are not speaking, can you please
give only the LinkedIn profile?
Can we do this question and answer? I'll ask you if you have any questions. आप बाद में पूछ लेना मुझसे please. Okay, great. So now we are on the Sales Navigator account. So I've explained you how you can filter down the results on the normal account, which is a free of cost LinkedIn account. Now we are switching ourselves to a Sales Navigator account, which is a premium version of LinkedIn, and it costs you at around 4,900 rupees a month, 5,000 rupees a month approximately, and you also get a 1 month free trial. Now in this, there are two ways. One of the ways is leads and the other is account. We are going with the lead approach. Lead means people, account means companies. So if I click on lead, these are all the filters that are available. Now I click on location, which is India. Company headcount, this is the parameter which we wanted, since we wanted to target companies that are more than 1,000 employees. So I select on all the companies that meet my criteria of 1,000 plus employees. I selected 1000 to 5000, 5000 to 10,000, 10,000 plus. Then I'm going to enter the industry, which is automotive. Consumer goods. They have just changed some industries. I'm sorry, I apologize for that. They have just made some, yeah. I'll click manufacturing directly over here. Yeah. Okay, and then I'm going to put in job title as HR heads, head of human resources, director of human resources. I can put in similar, parameters of job title that meet my requirement. Now you'll see there are around 2000 plus results. Okay. Now if I want, I can always copy paste single contact, or again, as I explained to you earlier, I can use the scraper also to scrape all the data. So this is how you can filter and narrow down, and there are a lot more filters available that you can use. For example, a lot of businesses want to target companies or people that have a certain years of experience. Let's say you want to target, decision makers who are in the job for more than 10 years. So you can use this filter. Or who have been in this particular company for more than 2 years, because then they have the more authority to take decision at a particular level. So you can use this particular filter. Then you can also specify whether they are into a particular school. Let's say you are an alumni of IIT Delhi and you want to build a connection or reputation with someone who is an alumni of IIT Delhi, because that gives you more leverage or perhaps a good talking point to talk to that person. So you can use the school also. So this is how you can use more of these filters that are available to narrow down your search criteria. You can also save this, share it with your team member so that they can also have a look at it, and then do mutual collaboration and work together. And once you are finalized with what kind of decision maker you want to target, you can just simply use the academy scanner or results one by one in an Excel file. So this is sales navigator approach to build your targeting criteria and get it all in an Excel file. Do you guys have any questions so far? अब आप पूछ सकते हैं, or I'll move to the next part of it.
Hi, Nitin.
No.
Yeah. Hi, who's this?
Nitin, this is Shri. Should I go ahead with my question?
Yeah, please go ahead.
So Nitin, just wanted to understand with Academy Scraper, will I be just, so let's say, the results for 2000, and let's say, I want to at least extract 1000 contacts, which means I have to go through like 100 pages.
Yeah,
So,
it's just 15-20 minutes to scrape 1000
okay,
results.
got it. Okay, perfect. Excellent.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Any other question, or I'll jump to the next part? Okay, awesome. Well, I'm muting you people. Sorry, I don't know whether you are.
Yeah, Nitin.
Yes.
In this data, what we'll get with the email ID and phone number, unless we are linked with them.
I'm coming on to that part now. The first step was to identify companies and people. Now that we have identified, step is to find out the email IDs and contact number, which I'm going to cover now.
Nitin, I have a question. Is there a way to pull data beyond 1000?
They use Sales Navigator. That shows more results, as well as in the Sales Navigator on the URL, top URL. If you let's say the page number, you can go up to 1500. A lot of people don't know that because on the pagination in the bottom row, it just shows 100 pages. or on the URL, if you just change page number, it will take you to 1500 total. And if you have more
Can you
results,
show me an illustration of how it is done, please?
you have to just try it out. I can't now go back to Sales Navigator again.
No problem at
Yeah.
all. So we just have to change the number you said, right?
Change
at
the
end
page
of
number
URL.
and it will work. Yeah, but if you have more results,
Okay,
then you
I'll
should
incorporate-
also, if you have more results, then you should, rather than putting all the industries together, just specify one industry at a time. Like just use consumer goods for once, and then filter and scrape all the results, and then use another industry at second time, and then scrape results, rather than combining all the industries together in one go.
Thank you for your guidance, Nitin.
Yeah. All right, great. Thank you so much, guys, for all the questions. Now I'm quickly jumping on to the next part of it, which is identifying the contact emails and numbers of these people. So you have a list. We have this particular list that you're looking at the screen. We have these people that are in these companies at such and such, job title or functions, and now you want to reach out to these people. Obviously, there are multiple ways. One is that you connect with them on LinkedIn. You send them a connection request. In your connection request, you send a personalized message. You create a reputation with them, and then you reach out to them and pitch your products and services. The second is that you use some tools to build their email IDs and contact numbers. अगर आपको email पे इनको reach out करना है, then there are few tools that are available. One of them is unturned.io. A good tool, you can use it for finding the email IDs. So, for example, if in Microsoft, it shows me all the results of email IDs in Microsoft. I'm sorry, I'll have a verification. I'm skipping it for now. But you can just, once you've verified yourself, it gives you free 50 leads, 50 leads. You can create multiple accounts and then use it. And then, for example, you have this particular person who is working in Cooper Standard. So you just locate and Google Cooper Standard. This is a bit of a manual work. Now that you have the domain, which is cooperstandard.com, you just have to enter the domain in the hunter, which is cooperstandard.com. Then it will show you all the email IDs in the particular domain, associated with the particular domain. And from there, you can actually predict, or maybe even lucky, if you are lucky, you can find the right person directly there with their email ID. So that's one way to do that. The second way is to use a like a Clearbit. Clearbit, it shows you all the email IDs that they have them, and that gives you email IDs with particular domain. Just like I have shown you for Cooper Standard entering into Twitter.io, you just have to use the same method, enter in Clearbit, and they will show you all the people associated with the Cooper Standard domain. And then you can find and specifically locate the person if they have in their database, and you can get their email ID. So these are one of the ways to find the email IDs of these particular people. Then the other way is, I'll have to be a little bit selfish, but one of the ways is you locate the particular person on LinkedIn. You go to their LinkedIn and you use our tool called as Mr. E by Easyleadz. Once you are on the particular person's profile, you can locate them, and then there the tool will basically open up on the right side. If you want the contact number of this particular person as well as their email ID, but essentially the contact number, you just have to open up their profile and click here. Click to get the contact number. I'll show you a few more examples. I'm not going to publish the contact number over here because there are a lot of people who are watching it, as well as a lot of people who are on the Hangouts looking at it. But it's just one of the ways to find the contact number of this particular person. Yeah, here you can click and get the contact number, and it gives you the direct mobile number of the decision makers, not just a board line or landline number. So that's one of the ways. And if you want to do the same thing in bulk, then you can actually just go to Easyleadz dashboard. Depending on the plan, of course, that you are in, and you can upload the results, the Excel file, the same Excel file that you have scraped from Academy Scraper. You can actually just upload this file over here, and the system will process the data directly in bulk, and you will get a contactable file ready to be downloaded. Normally it takes half an hour to process a file of even 500 records. So you can use this method to contact numbers. Along with them, you may also obviously be able to find email IDs as well. But essentially, if you want to target and reach a mobile phone on these people, then you use this particular to get the contact numbers. Now, if you have any questions so far across these tools, let me know.
We spell the name of the tools once. One you said is
Sure.
Academy Scraper. The second is Hunter.io. The third is Mr. E.
Mr. E, which is our tool. Yeah, if you just Google Mr. E Easyleadz, you will find the link to the tool. This is the link, easyleadz.com. You will be able to just go to easyleadz.com and then click here to try out the tool for free. You get 5 credits for trying out the tool, get 5 free numbers, mobile numbers of the decision makers of your choice. There is a demo video also, you can view it. And then once you decide that this is the right tool, you can just simply proceed ahead to upgrade for a paid plan. The other tool is Clearbit.
Hello, Nitin.
Yeah. Hi. I'm just completing the answer to the previous question. Just wait for a few seconds. I'll come back to you. The other tool was Clearbit. And the third tool that I explained to you was Hunter.io. And then it's Academy Scraper. You just have to do Academy Scraper. And you will be able to go to Google and find the first link, which is Academy Scraper Google Store, Chrome Store. These are the 4 tools.
What about the accuracy of these tools? Do they reveal correct information all the time?
So for the Clearbit, it's usually around, as per my experience, obviously, I'm not a spokesperson for them, but it's usually around 75 to 80% on the emails. Hunter is probably around same 75-80%. I can obviously vouch for my own tool, which is Easyleadz, since I'm the founder of the company. So we assure 100% accuracy on numbers. Even if there is a mobile number that you find which is wrong or invalid, you can report it and your credit will be refunded back to you. And for Academy Scraper, obviously there is no thing as accuracy. Whatever you see on the search results, it is going to just scrape those for you and you get them in an Excel file. Okay, coming on to the next part. The other guy had some question. Please let me know. How can I help?
Yeah, hello Nitin. Actually, I was using Mr. E about a year ago, right? I was using that particular thing, a paid version. At that particular point of time, I was able to scrape the numbers easily. I was just putting the names on the LinkedIn. I was on their profile and I had the numbers, right? It was easy. In the last few days, I was not active on Mr. E. Now, when I try to get the numbers of all those people, it is complicated. The same people that have got the numbers from Mr. E an year ago are not able to get their own number now only. So is there any kind of problem with the application right now?
Yes, this is something which is very, very specific to Mr. and we can talk about it offline. अगर आपको particular process और manufacturing related कुछ बात करनी है वो भी बात करते हैं. Otherwise you can email me nitin@easyleadz.com. आप मुझे email करो and we'll speak about it. Yeah. Sure.
Nitin?
Yeah.
So just wanted to understand, we are doing this for manufacturing companies in India. Can we do this for manufacturing companies in India? Let's look at Taiwan or India.
And I'm sorry, I'll have to just mute the person first. Yeah.
Sorry. You're my
if you could.
Yeah, sure. So my question was, we were doing this specifically for manufacturing companies in India.
Yeah.
How relevant is Mr. E? I'm talking about Clearbit and Hunter.io. How relevant is E for other regions within APAC or Middle East?
So it was pretty good in APAC as well as US. The only region which we don't cover is EU because of GDPR.
Got it. So I'm saying that have some good reach in the Middle East as well as the APAC region.
Yeah, and look for it. You just have to try it out. I mean, it's free buy, so just try it out for yourself and then.
Perfect. I will do that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for answering my question.
Yeah. All right. Okay. The next part is that we have covered the LinkedIn part now. I'm going to cover the other approach, the other case that we discussed in the beginning. The second case, wherein the person to target businesses that are into automotive and aerospace industry, and in these SMEs, a mid-size sector, a small-size sector, and these companies they were targeting owners and CEOs. We have already identified one method, which is the link. The second method that I'm going to explain to you today is Zoba-Coop approach, or the approach wherein you target the private limited companies in India. These are the same companies. So there are around 15-16 lakh private limited companies in India. While on LinkedIn, you will only be able to find close to 50,000, 1 lakh companies that are there having a social presence with their employees, a profile on LinkedIn. But rest of the companies or manufacturing companies, close to 4 to 5 lakhs, you will not find them on LinkedIn at all, or perhaps on other social platforms. Very, very difficult to reach out to these businesses, especially if they're SMEs and micro SMEs. So for that, I usually recommend, to focus on the route which is going via the private limited or MCA, Ministry of Corporate Affairs method, wherein any business who is in India, they have to register themselves with Ministry of Corporate Affairs. When they register themselves as Ministry of Corporate Affairs, they open up a private limited company and then they start their business. So at that moment, Zoba-Coop, which is another private company, they basically just pick that information from MCA and create a profile of that particular company on their website. And it's free of cost for you to access all these companies, the basic information of all these companies, with an amazing set of filters that are available. So since we are targeting manufacturing companies, I'll just go to one filter, which is manufacturing. In these, I will apply a filter, which is active company. So if you notice, there are like 75,000 active companies in India in the manufacturing sector, which is a huge volume. आप साल भर में इतनी इसको टारगेट कर ही नहीं सकते. So this is fact of going with this method, that you extend your total addressable market with almost 200-300 times. You may be just focusing on LinkedIn approach or targeting them via LinkedIn, which is very, very limited. But the real, fruit or gold mine is actually sitting somewhere else. So this is the reason why I put more emphasis on this particular approach. And always focus and narrow down, since the person was targeting manufacturing or motor vehicles. Let me just narrow down further with motor vehicles. So now this is companies in the business of motor vehicles, trailers and semi-trailers. Almost 57. You will see all of them. You can even further narrow down by the age. Let's say you're targeting companies that are of their business 3 to 5, 5 to 10. You can further filter companies by their number of establishment, which means how many factories they may have. So usse bhi aap targeting kar sakte ho. And down by the basis of paid up capital. Paid up capital is usually the amount that you have to invest while setting up your business. So more amount that you invest while setting up the business, the more is the volume or capacity that you have built in right from the beginning of the company. So imagine if the company has more than 500 crores of paid up capital, you can think about the scale that they're operating in. So uske basis pe bhi aap usko narrow down kar sakte. Now let's say you just target these companies. You have identified companies and you want to target them. You go to their profile. थोड़ा सा और छोटा कर देता हूँ इसको. I'll just go to 3 to 5 years of age, just for the example. So companies that I want to target, I open up their profile. Then you will be able to, if you want to do free stuff, then you can just say of one of the decision makers, which usually is either the CEO or director, or it's public email. You can just copy paste it and email them directly. Usually the response rate is low because it sometimes go spam or sometimes go to a common ID. That obviously you will have to decide how much are the efforts that you want to invest in. But it's one of the ways wherein you can figure out, identify the company and then email them. I'm just showing you example. Choice at the end of the day is yours. The second approach is finding the contact number of the director of these companies. So you go to the same Chrome extension, Mystery by Easyleadz, which works on Zobacop as well. All of the directors directly visible over here. जो इस कंपनी के डायरेक्टर हैं आपको डायरेक्टली उनका प्रोफाइल दिखेगा यहाँ पे. And if you want the contact number, you just have to click here, click to get contact, and you will be able to find the direct mobile number of the decision maker of this particular company. So this is how you can actually identify the manufacturing companies or perhaps even other sector also, and then reach out to the direct companies instantly. If you guys have any questions on this particular approach, let me know.
So I have a question
about directors only, not department heads.
So here on top you can actually just find the directors.
You get information only about directors, right?
Yes, on Zobacop, through Zobacop, using our tool, you can just get the contact number of directors. It is more relevant for reaching out SME and SMB sector. If you're getting more higher up companies, then the anyways right approach is not to reach out to directors. उनके वैसे भी आप 1000 plus employee size, 500 employee size की जो companies होती हैं, का वैसे भी आपको presence LinkedIn पे मिल जाएगा. It's the SMEs and SMBs or mid-size, mid to high-size companies that will not find on LinkedIn. For those kind of businesses, Zobacop becomes the right channel. Any other question?
So your tool, Mr. E, works with all the important social media platforms and other websites like Zobacop, etc. Right?
So it currently works on LinkedIn, Zobacop, Crunchbase, Toffler, as well as Insta Financial.
Does it work with Facebook and Twitter as well?
Not yet.
Okay.
Because it pretty much wants to cover the professional data and information. Facebook and Twitter usually are not professional platforms.
Understood.
Yeah. Any other question? Oh, I see a lot of questions coming in from LinkedIn. Yeah, how's this?
So this is perfectly legal, I suppose.
Yeah, we only provide data which is publicly available.
Allowed.
I mean, we only have methods to find data which are in the public domain. So we provide data usually which is in the public domain. Otherwise, we don't provide the data. And whenever we have any information of a prospect, we send them a message, we send them an email asking that if they want to opt out from database, they can do so. So it's more an explicit consent-based data that we provide you. Hope that answers. Any other question?
Have LinkedIn activity, so if it detects any kind of automation, it restricts the account, so that will not happen with your tool, right?
Where are you referring to? On LinkedIn?
LinkedIn? Yes.
So, I mean, we really don't do any automation. So it is not doing any automation at all, because it is only referring how it works on LinkedIn is if you go to LinkedIn page, this is the profile, let's say, I will on LinkedIn. So it is just basically referring to this URL. That's all. It is not referring to any content thing on LinkedIn page. And this URL is opening up on Chrome, not on LinkedIn.
Right, but I believe it has an internal policy where they detect, if they detect any kind of scraping from their website, which is LinkedIn, it restricts the account. So if that happens, all my contacts will go down the drain.
I mean, I use the tool daily. I know in and out about that, and not violating any terms and policies of LinkedIn. So don't worry about that, because we're already in compliance with the policies, so it's totally cool.
Right.
Any questions specific to the Zobacop approach?
If you just new website also, let's consider any new. So
What do you mean by
capture
that?
all the information.
Zobacop?
New in the sense? Yeah.
So yeah, you can specify the age of the company. As said, so for example,
like any new company, with the age of, let's consider 1 year or 6 months.
Yeah. So you can specify and filter the companies by the age less than 1 year, and then use the tool on those. So in short, yes. Yeah. Answer to your question is yes. Any other question? I'll jump on to the ones we have received from LinkedIn. There are a lot of them. Okay, I'll put one question that we have from LinkedIn. It's from Kajal Sangwan, a tech company where we are providing health and wellness program for employee. Kajal, if you have any question, do let me know. That's amazing. Congrats on that. I mean, if you're a health tech company and you provide wellness programs for employees, and if you're targeting manufacturing companies, then I believe this both the approach that we discussed today, one of LinkedIn. Usually the kind of people that like are L&D or heads or HR heads or purchase people are the ones that are usually the targeting right decision makers, employee size companies. If you're targeting companies, then founders, CEOs, and owners are the right decisions for such business. How to generate logistics and delivery company leads. The same, if you have had a chance to go through the entire podcast of this webinar, LinkedIn Live, then the same approach we have followed for manufacturing sector. You can just change the industry logistics. Everything remains the same. Just replace the industry with logistics. Instead of filtering goods and consumer electronics, filter logistics. The rest everything remains the same. Then we have a question from Rohit Tambat. Ayurvedic cosmetic products manufacturing, looking for sales leads for this kind of product. It's very hard to say anything just like that. You need to first give more information on what kind of distribution network you already have, or the businesses that already buy from you. Are you into wholesale? Are you into distribution? How do you sell? What's your channel? It depends on that. Based on that, I can maybe perhaps answer more. You can, maybe LinkedIn, send me a message on DM me on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to understand it more. Okay, next is from IT heads or CIO of auto components. Well, in that case, you just have to go to LinkedIn, type in CIO, just replace the HR head, because we have gone through the first case where we were targeting HR heads. So instead of writing in HR, write in the CIO or CTO or Chief Technology Officer or IT heads, and then fill industry by manufacturing sector, and you will have your decision makers that you have mentioned here. Okay.
Nitin, one question.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to understand that what is your source of getting the detail? Any person, the contact person, email ID on LinkedIn. There are many times the people. So I don't understand that what is your source of getting the data of getting your.
Sure. I mean, it's very complicated to answer it that way, but to put it simply, all public publicly available repositories are our sources, because we have created algorithms that mine the public deep web. So, for example, if your profile is there on LinkedIn, but it comes up in a Google search result, then you have elements that are already there in the public domain, your job title. Like if we search you with the same person with focusing especially on Twitter or Facebook or a job portal or a news article or a form that you may have filled in the last few years over the web, or your name has appeared in a I would say a result of education institution. So many of things are there, which basically it's a repository of a person on the deep web, and we mine that information using our crawlers, and our crawlers make a judgment by so many of triangulation methods. It's more of a machine learning driven concept wherein we basically have name, then we have a location, then job title, then we have past company where you have worked, so many variables that could take use, and then होता है बैकग्राउंड में जिसकी वजह से हम लोग बंदे की प्रोफाइल बना पाते हैं. We don't do it manually. We use our algorithms to do that, but it's out there in the public domain. It's just that for a layman or for a human eye, it's not easily. So using the crawlers that we have built, we are able to mine that information. It's a bit technical approach, but layman term बोलूँ तो public available sources से ही हम लोग निकाल पाते हैं, but it's there in the deep web. I hope so. Yeah. Any other question, or I think we are almost done with it. Okay, I think it's great. Yeah, I have a question. Who has a question? Ashwin, marketing manager for mid-size and large company. Yeah, of course, Subhash, if you're targeting marketing managers of mid-size and large companies, then use the same approach as we discussed, and simply just use these titles, marketing manager instead of HR heads, and you will be able to find those people on LinkedIn and use the tools to get the contact numbers. Titash, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name right. How do you say it, Titash? If anyone asks me where I got their number from, what can I say? Well, of course, I mean, nobody likes to hear that you got their number from a tool. It's not human. So you just have to come up with good answers. Technically, you can say that you got the number from tool or got their email from a tool, but usually it's more of a skill set of a sales who is at the end of. Normally, when we call someone, we tell them that one of their friend, or we got to know about you from your company job posting, or we got to know about you from a recent news article that we read about your company, or from your LinkedIn profile. So ये सब बोलना होता है rather than saying tool. Technically you can say that, but it's more of a good human connection to say them that you got submit from reference. Hope it answers. Okay, great, thank you. Any other question? Okay, one last thing that I wanted to ask you guys is, I'm not sure whether all of it, 50 minutes that we have taken off everyone, whether this was helpful or not, over Hangouts as well as on LinkedIn, whether whatever I've done today, whether I've done justice to 50 minutes of your time or not. So, because I really don't want to do these webinars unless it helps you. So do let me know whether it is helping you or not. That's more important. And Kumar, the pricing of the tool is mentioned on our website, easyleadz.com, but it starts as low as just 2,200 rupees a month for 40 contacts. Okay, great. Well, thank you. Anyone else have any feedback?
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you, Nitin, for sharing this. information. So till now I was not knowing about this job work approach what you have shown today. So that's a big opportunity for us. So basically we are targeting MSMEs and SMEs.
Sure.
And all the filters are available, readily available. We just need to cook it and take the data.
Yeah,
so
I'm actually get surprised by this particular part wherein people are not really aware. मुझे भी नहीं पता था. So and it has become a mission for me. That is approach that I usually keep telling people that they should just try it out.
Correct.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You'll be in touch.
Sure. Anyone else have any other feedback or opinion about this webinar? Please let me know. Thank you, Nitin. Thank you, Nasir. Thank you, Ashish. Thank you, Vishwas. Thank you, Ravi. Thank you, Titash. Thank you, Dida Solutions. And hoping I got your name right. Okay, great. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. I really hope this was helpful to you. If not, please email me, let me know how I can improve it and how I can make better use of your time. And if you guys have any questions regarding webinar or perhaps any other thing, then you can email me to nitin@easyleadz.com. That's my email ID, nitin@easyleadz.com, easyleadz.com. That's my email. Or if you're connected with me on LinkedIn, you can just DM me. I'll be happy to help. Sure, great. Okay, thank you so much. Bye-bye. Have a good evening.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.